Hi everyone! Every International Aerospace Expo brings along with it new ships to add to the ever-growing pantheon of existing space vessels. And so far, the Drake Cutter has already made its debut, the Corsair has finally been released into the wild, and the RSI Galaxy has been officially revealed as well. But today, I'm going to be looking at the C8R Rescue Pisces. This has obviously been mostly based around the original Pisces model, and a lot of times variants consist of small changes that have been done to an already existing ship. Sure, they'll do some changes to its weapons, missiles, or even components loadouts, then they'll slap a new paint job onto it and call it a day. But I'm happy to say that a lot more effort went into this ship. The changes start from the moment that you enter into it from the back ramp. They've added a sliding partition that acts as an airlock and decontamination spot for the rest of the ship. And unlike the Cutlass Red, the C8R has a proper sterile hospital appearance to it. While the dark interior of the Red looks a lot less like an ambulance, and a lot more like you're about to be delivered into the clutches of a human chop shop, which I kinda suspect was exactly the kind of vibe that they were going for. While the interior of the C8R is a complete and total contrast to that experience in nearly every way. In fact, it looks a lot like they just upended the Carrick's medical bay, scaled it down, and then made it mobile. There's a number of other changes that they've done to the interior of the C8R as well. Like, for instance, the cargo storage has been removed and replaced with a Tier 3 medical bed. And opposite to it is a station that can be used for carrying all of your surplus medical needs, like a variety of med pins, flares, water, and pretty much anything else that you want to take with you. And just to clarify things, a Tier 3 medical bed is the lowest tiered out of all of them, and it can only be used to cure Tier 3 injuries. So it can't be used as a spawn point, but it can be used to keep a heavily injured person stable while you transport them to a facility where their injuries can be properly taken care of. It still has one drop seat, but the other one was removed and replaced with a diagnostic computer which runs the medical bed. And one of the more interesting cosmetic changes that have been made to the Rescue Pisces is the addition of a pair of flashing lights that appear above and below the ship. And when you see those lights flashing on the horizon, they absolutely scream to you, "Hold on, I'm almost there." Some things to take note about the C8R Pisces are that it's being officially looked at as its own variant, which means that it's not going to be modular and you're not going to be able to do things like rip the bed out and use it for cargo space or vice versa. And dimensionally speaking, the C8R is exactly the same as the other Pisces, so it's going to fit into any of the same ships that they do. And the interior doesn't have any weapons or armor racks, but it does have some personal storage for the crew and patients, and you will be able to sit in the jump seat while you're fully armored. The C8R is clad in the same armor as the other variants and has the same offensive capabilities as the base Pisces, so it specifically has 2 gimbaled size 1 guns and 2 size 1 missiles. And its handling is going to be the same as those other variants, with the one exception being that it's going to move slightly faster in a straight line. And on an interesting note, the devs said that the medical bed doesn't currently consume power or increase the Pisces IR signature, but in the future it will require power to work and will use consumables in order to run it. And also because a lot of people were asking, no, you cannot use the medbed to log out of the game from. Overall, I think that the C8R Pisces is a great travel-sized med station to have access to. It's compact, it's maneuverable, and it's a very handy ship to have around for any org event or away mission that's going to have some kind of FPS element to it. It's also going to be a must-have addition to anyone's fleet of runabouts, especially if they own a large ship that could carry it. Well, that's going to be it for my first impression and buyer's guide for the C8R Rescue Pisces. I've been your host, Law of the West. Thanks for watching, and take care.